What's good? What's good? What's good in the hood? And welcome back to another episode of the Good in the Hood podcast. This week I'm joined by a super special guest, Chicago MC, the one and only Black Queen, Freddie Old Soul. What's happening, Freddie?
What's good, fam? What's up?
Glad to meet you. First time meeting you pretty much formally. How you feeling?
I'm feeling great, good and
Good to hear,
blessed
good to hear.
today.
Good to hear. I've met you through your music, but it's our first time interacting for us, so it's definitely dope to finally get to talk to you and definitely on this sharing my platform. I really appreciate it. I want to pretty much get into like your mindset as an artist, especially coming out of coronavirus and the pandemic. You released two albums in 2020. Um,
Yeah, I did.
I'm saying two Black Worldwide, and of course the First People album, which is phenomenal. So how was it working through that? And like I think you spent most of 2020 also like pregnant with a second child, correct?
Yes.
Like you know what I'm saying. So you were juggling a lot in 2020. How was that for you?
Uh, it was definitely a test of fate. I used the pandemic to really touch on subjects that needed to be expressed about. Like one thing I can appreciate about coronavirus is that it made people stop in their tracks and really self-evaluate. And so I just took it upon myself to take advantage of this situation because all negative situations can be turned into something good. And I used that moment, even though it's still going on, I used the pandemic to capture a moment in time uh, of life in quarantine, life with adjusting and changes, life and the inequalities that's going on in the world amongst, the virus, the George Floyd situation. Um, I used I used the tragedies and the uncomfortable feelings to just really like rediscover myself and also pose the question to my communities and the people around me of you know how do we create a sustainable environment where we're not depending on so much of the outside world for our like resources, because as you can see, um a lot of people lost their jobs. It was just a lot of stuff going on. So
Absolutely.
I just used it as an opportunity. And I really appreciated being able to be stuck in the house. I ain't gonna lie. Like,
Yeah.
the world's just moving way too fast. And it was just time to really sit down and think about stuff. And I would say maybe the pandemic was a little hard on me in regards to my pregnancy because it was certain things I wasn't able to do while I was pregnant, where I'm like, dang, but I think I did a good job at capturing the struggle as well as, creating a roadmap of how to like uplift yourself out of it. So it was crazy, but it definitely a memorable time. And with my pregnancy, I was so active, you know. So it actually ended up being good for me in the end when I did have my baby, how active I was. My labor wasn't as strenuous, So
Absolutely. And like, how much of that, like, as a creative, especially as an artist, as a poet, as a rapper, like, how easy is it to put that into your music, like, as going forward, or just like, as far as that inspires your creative energy at all?
hmm. Um I wouldn't say it's easy or hard. It's about being vulnerable. And sometimes being vulnerable is really hard. You have to be honest about where you are in your process. So, I was honest. Like one of my bars, I said, "What coronavirus?" Ain't seen somebody like me, my immune system kick ass like Bruce Lee drinking ginger tonics. Like that was a that was an affirmation for me. Like, yeah, I have this fear of getting this pandemic. Well, let me write myself myself into my freedom. Like, no, like I got this, you know?
Absolutely.
So with the creative process, I mean, as long as I'm being vulnerable, I'm able to transmute that energy into something that I could put in my rhymes. So
what was the time frame you were writing and creating the first people? What time frame did that start in, kind of?
No, it definitely, creating the first people started with the last track, I believe. No, not the last track, the second to last track, Hot Tamale. That's on the project. It started with Hot Tamale, and everybody's just going crazy about the coronavirus. Because I was pretty much laughing at people's responses to, I was laughing at people's like survival instincts, because it was kind of like not logical. Like everybody was running out getting toilet paper and shit.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, well, okay, clearly we need to like bring it back and figure out what it is that we need. So yeah, it literally started in March when the coronavirus like popped off, and then it ended all the way into the summer with me creating a bunch of visuals and bringing people together, doing live, like live sets and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I was just writing literally from March up until like the end of the summer. So it was just a moment of time.
So, you called all the beginning of the pandemic. You called the George Floyd, Breonna Taylor. You called all that in your writing process. So you had your ammunition ready, basically. So you were fully loaded. You were fully loaded.
Yeah.
Can you talk about the meaning behind the term "the first people" and what that represents and the ideology behind it?
So the first people started off as an idea that I wanted to use to create a collective of like minds in regards to just building a team for my artistry. It started off like that. And the concept behind the first people is we really are the first ones that came here. Like we really the ones, like we really are the blueprint, to the entire scheme of things. Yeah, like literally, period. Like we the first people, like melanated people, we the first people. We the ones that really paved the way. We the ones that really created what am I trying to say? We're the ones that really created the blueprint of just discovery, just period. And just reminding yourself as an affirmation, like know who you are, know where you come from, and celebrate that 100%.
Absolutely. So like when you look at the state of America, especially as an artist, I want to hear your take on this. You look at the state of everything going on, like when you look at, like, for instance, we just seen a movie just released as Chicagoans. I'm sure you rushed to see it like I did, Judas and the Black Messiah, and you see like back then of what the voice was. How can we get the people to realize that the voices of this generation won't? The Fred Hamptons of this generation are the rappers like yourself and people who want to affirm the people through creative voice, through creative word. Like it isn't always gonna be a person giving a speech anymore. We've elevated from speech now to going back to what our ancestors were doing with the spiritual songs, like you trying to make with the first people, basically.
And honestly, I just want people to get out of the mindset of struggle altogether in that regard. In that regards. and I haven't seen the movie yet, but I know what it's about, and I'm pretty sure that it will trigger me because
absolutely will. It absolutely will. For sure.
I'm pretty sure it's gonna trigger me. Like, I don't got HBO Max. I'm like, damn, they want us to pay for literally every streaming service.
You know what I'm saying?
You know, I gotta delete one of my streaming services so I could get that one, so I can watch it and then delete it. You know.
Use a bunch of different emails. I don't know how to.
You already know, like, free trial over.
You know what I'm saying?
But I wrote a song on the First People called Days of No Struggle, and I really meant it. And it's the path of least resistance. It's about the path of least resistance now. You know, it's the age of Aquarius. It's the age of what is it that you want to manifest in this world? You can have it. You can have it right now. What it is, it's a decision away. And as certain people in power lose their power, as you see, you know, a lot of things are being disrupted. A lot of people are becoming more aware of who they are. I think adapting a days of no struggle mindset is what's needed from our people and for the entire world.
Yeah, with that,
regardless of what race you are.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No. Say what you was gonna say.
With that mindset, how would it be difficult to balance that? And like, I agree with that, but also fear the ability that people might forget the history type of thing. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes I do hate. I always say I hate the slave movies. I hate when we put these things in movies, but at the same time, I look at our next generation, and they're not gonna read these books. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I get what you're saying.
You know what I'm saying? Like, whenever I had kids, I can't imagine my kids sitting down reading Asada Shakur's autobiography. But I can try to tell them what that's about, or try to give them an audible maybe. But I don't think they're gonna read it. You know.
I get what you're saying. You know what? It's crazy that you bring this up, because I went to my child's school to pick him up because he's in daycare. And you know how they do like the Black History or just anything. If it's Valentine's Day, you're gonna have a board with hearts on it. You know, if it's you know, just period. And you know, it's Black History Month. And I saw on one of the boards, "We shall overcome." And it's triggering. It's like it's triggering. Yeah. It's triggering. Sure. And I think, no, we don't want to forget what has happened to us. No, not at all. There's no way that we can. It's already in our DNA. We already gotta constantly upgrade our DNA.
But we can't cry about it anymore. We gotta
with each generation. Right. And actually, if you need to cry, remember the path of least resistance. If you gotta cry, whatever you gotta do,
absolutely,
you need to fucking do it now. Excuse my language.
Absolutely, no,
you need to do it now. Yeah. Because it's not the mindset of "we shall overcome." That's not the mindset anymore. At least for me and mine. The mindset is, I am walking in my power, you know.
Absolutely.
And it's history past that history. So when people talk about, you know, this history, this is a very messed up time, and it's still prevalent. It still exists, but we got history past that history that need to be told. You know, and not from a fear-based way of thinking, but from a space of, you know, how do we utilize who we are, you know, what we have, like how do we utilize that to become aware? You know, we need to be aware of ourselves. It's that time now. And in my opinion, it's everybody against racism now.
Gotta be.
It's everybody against white supremacy. Absolutely. It's everybody against it all now, because that's the only way we're gonna get through is with love.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So, and I'm gonna watch the movie, but I might be triggered because what happened to Fred Hampton is just It
Yeah,
fucks me up.
if for me, it kind of did a good job just showing like how just disgusting that killing was. Well, of course, it's a movie, so it's definitely a bunch of dramatization. But you know, it's as far as the movie goes, I get it, and I just love seeing it because I'm from Maywood, so I just love seeing Fred
Right.
Hampton.
Oh,
You
gang.
know what I'm saying? So it's like I love seeing him, but showing him bring the gangs together and stuff. It's good to see,
Yeah, it's
especially
empowering.
because like for me, like I would love to see. I know. I spoke about her earlier, but Asada Shakur. I love to see a movie about her because when we grew up, like we got told about Martin Luther King, Malcolm X, and a few like other people just
Rosa
here.
Parks, that was it.
Just a few names, like it's just the same names thrown at us all over and over again. It's good to see the Fred Hamptons represented.
Yeah, I
Also,
ain't gonna lie, because he was
that's
a
like
rebel. I
you know
mean,
what I'm saying.
the
You know what I'm saying, like he 21 to do everything he did.
21.
You know what I'm saying, like it's
And when
crazy.
I think about that, it's like, wow, like 21 years old, like you made that much of an impact. That's
Yeah,
empowering. And
and
our people need to know about Fred Hampton.
absolutely, and like that's why I always make the statement that I look at Tupac and Biggie to a certain degree in the same light because they were a voice of a whole culture. Like
Yeah.
what Tupac represents is to me of our generation the same light as Malcolm X in the past because he spoke about keep your head up, everything he did, you know, outside of the gang wars,
Yeah.
he still was a revolutionary at heart and spoke it and made that shit important. And what's dope for me,
Mm-hmm.
like as a hip hop fan, it's dope for me in this era is to see what's happening as far as there's a resurgence, not even a resurgence, it's a surgence of black women now becoming like the face of hip hop. And I kind of want to get your take on it because it's dope to see. I remember being in high school, it was a good 10-year gap, which is Nicki Minaj. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Now here we are. It's I can't even count how many elite mainstream female MCs that are out here. How does it feel to be a part of this to be in line with this resurgence?
It feels really great to me. I really appreciate that that women are getting more respect in hip hop because I mean we've been doing this since the beginning as well. Like
Absolutely.
it's no secret. Like
Roxanne.
we've been had our feet planted in the ground on this. And so I think it's definitely empowering. I would like to see more representation.
Yeah.
I love Tierra Whack. First off, I gotta say that I
Love
love
Tierra Whack.
Tierra Whack.
Love Tierra Whack.
I love the lyricism. I love how she's being represented. I love Rico Nasty. Like she going crazy. Like it's amazing. And I love Megan when she get in her on her lyrical vibe. I mean, I love her regardless, but when she and her whole vibe of just lyricism, like she just dropped a video on her birthday, like going crazy. Like I love to see it. It's really empowering and great, and it make me feel like I have an amazing audience. I have amazing fans, and I can't wait to see it become worldwide and to see just on the scope of things like who those people are in the world. It's such a huge world, and then you attract like just a huge audience of people, that come from different backgrounds, but y'all all got one thing. So I love it. I'm not even gonna lie, like I love it. You got Cardi B, you got, even be real, I want to see more representation. I ain't gonna lie. I want to see people like Tierra Whack get Megan attention,
Yeah.
But we on our way, I guess.
Yeah, like for me, when Cardi B first started coming out, like I felt like that was the representation of women in hip hop. But like you said, like now we're seeing such a diverse group of women rappers now that there's a lane for the Cardi B style, the Megan Stallion style. There's a mulatto.
Yeah,
You
it's a
also
lane
have
for everybody's style.
exactly. Then I see Rhapsody and Shay Noir, and there's so many
Yes.
dope queens out here now. And I gotta shine light
I'm
on the
ready
fact.
for these women in Chicago to
That's what I'm
blow
about to
up. And
say.
it
That's
ain't
what I'm about
even
to
just
say.
me.
Yeah, it's so
It
many in
ain't even just
Chicago.
me. I'm thirsty for
Like
us
when I look at
because
you, I look at No Name, I look at Brittany Carter, I look at even
Brittany
Dreezy.
my sis.
Like it's so many dope queens from
Mother
Chicago as
Nature.
well.
Come
Man,
on. Like
man, it's so many.
we
It's so
going
many.
crazy.
It's so many.
Mm-hmm.
And like what would you like to see next in that space to make it more, like you said, more even as far as mainstream? How can we make that happen where the mainstream isn't just the party records?
You know, I feel like, and this is just how I feel. I feel like there's a lot of people in Chicago that need to be famous already.
Yeah.
And I feel like, I don't know if it's because of how Chicago is like structured
Mm-hmm.
in a way where it make you feel like you gotta leave. But I do have a feeling that I feel like some women finna rise out of Chicago that's actually gonna change the face of hip hop.
Yeah, I
Like
think
I
that
really
John Doe. I think that John Doe is another example of someone who should have popped by now. It should have been. That should have been happening.
it really should have been. It really should have been. So it's not even like I'm looking at the artist. I'm not looking at us like what's wrong with us. I'm
Right.
like, hey, wait a minute, like
Right.
something adding up here. And sometimes it's a little pause before there's a huge breakthrough. And I feel like that's what's happening right now. Cause I really feel like we finna be put on the map. It's like a chain reaction. Like when Chance got on, it was a chain reaction. Like certain people, they instantly rose to the top.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
it's gonna be another chain reaction in Chicago really soon. And I think it's got to do with women because it's the women in Chicago right now that I just really see really about to take over the map.
Yeah.
So
Sure.
I'm definitely looking forward to that.
When you look at Chicago, do you think there's a sound? Do you think Chicago has a sound that is known for this moment?
Um, I think Chicago has always had like an undertone of struggle in its music, where it's real gutter, it's real like, it's real street, it's real it's it's just straight real with no like no filter. You know, that's our
Yeah.
style. You know, it's not sugarcoated. It can go from hella street, but even in drill, but even if it's not on that type of shit, it goes into like even for the like super artsy people, it's still an undertone of struggle that you can even just feel in the voices of the people coming out of Chicago. Like even when you say the word Cottage Grove, which I've heard in a few songs, like
Yeah.
you could just feel like, damn, you know, like what a place to be from, what a place to come
Yeah.
from. And it's
Yeah.
such a vivid story that we all got to tell. So
I mean,
I
even on your own record with First People, I'm saying Shorty finds from 63rd. Like 63rd,
exactly.
63rd is a number that just rings off now. I'm saying, and I'm like,
I
y'all
and
out here.
I didn't know what I was doing when I did it. But after I did it, and especially after I shot the video, I realized like, wow, I just captured a really classic, like everybody knows 63rd Street.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know, like the dude that selling donuts and shit. Like it is, and then and for so many people, it was, and it still is. It put a really big impact on so many that resonate with the South Side of Chicago. And I honestly, I think even that song, "Shorty Fine as Fuck" on 63rd, like I think that's the sound. That's Chicago. That's literally
Yeah,
the
that
perfect
slang.
capture
Yeah. Yeah.
of Chicago sound. Yeah.
And like when of course you mentioned 63rd, of course, like the mind often goes also outside of your record, it goes to, you know what I'm saying, King Vaughn's record. And we look at the depiction of Chicago and the crime in Chicago, we look at the depiction on the global scale. What do you think the biggest misconception is? And what do you think also the biggest issue is in the community?
Now, and it's interesting, like when people talk about Chicago, that's not from Chicago, they talk to me, and they make it seem like soon as you walk outside, your ass finna get popped. Right. Like the minute you walk out, like soon as you walk out of your door, it's over.
Like everything Chirac this, Chirac that. That's all they say.
They really make it seem like that. And I'm like, damn, well, I guess it's about the reality that you create for yourself, because I'm fine, you know, like I'm fine on 79th Street, you know, like get a little crazy around Essex, but okay, like, like I'm fine. That's one of the biggest misconceptions is like, oh, it's just too crime, like stricken here. You know, it's really a lot of beauty in the hood that the news don't capture that. The news could never capture the beauty of 47th and King Drive. Like, man, you can never capture that on the news. So people have a crazy representation of like they don't got the heart to survive here.
Basically.
But
and they don't want to shine light. They don't want to shine light on the beauty of it. Like it's a choice, I feel like.
Right. But then when it comes to what we need to do, I think we need to show more love here.
Yeah.
We need to spread more love here.
Yeah.
We do.
Yeah, like you look at how the school system is pretty much on hold now because the CPS just won't get respected by the mayor. Like the teachers won't get respected, and now the students can't learn basically.
I think it poses another question of how, and it's sad. It's just a chain reaction of a lot of shit because you got mothers and fathers that need to go to work. You know, they not fully present with their child as much as they want to be. We all, the way I feel about the education system, I want to educate my children. You know, like I want to actually homeschool my children.
That's dope.
I want to have it within my hands of like, you know what real education is. To me, see, the school system has always been fucked up in Chicago. Like, it's no doubt about it. I mean, it's been a lot of beauty that has come from it. I mean, we all are products of the fucking, unless you went to private school or something, you know? Yeah. But I really, it just goes back into us having to take things more into our hands. I think these chaotic situations are happening so that we can learn how to be more sustainable as a people. I really feel like the energy of Babaluai, the energy of Ogun, I really do have faith in our ancestors and in our divine powers that we are able to overcome situations when we examine and look within ourselves. And, you know, if you look on the better side, it just gives us more opportunity to be more in control of our outcomes. All of this tragedy really happened for a reason. And it is for people to wake up and to realize what is true education, you know?
Absolutely.
And I mean, that's just how I feel about it.
when we speak about connecting with the ancestors, I also often think about spirituality. And I want to know, like, in your opinion, how important is it for especially Black people to be connected to their spiritual being, their spirituality, and what advice you give someone trying to find their steps in spirituality and find their footing with spirituality?
I would tell people to first realize that you are literally the shrine, you are the vessel in which your ancestors moved through, and all your movements, your thoughts are influenced by something. So most definitely learning how to allow your temple to be used for good. Mm. You know, a lot of people think spirituality is just this super far out thing where, oh, I got to figure out how to connect when you are the shrine, you know, and it starts with good character. My Baba will always be like, you know, everybody's like the moon, the stars, and all of this other stuff. But do you have good character? Are you really a good person?
Mm.
Do you have patience with yourself and other people? Do you have a good head on your shoulders? That's the beginning of spirituality for me. Do
Right.
you know who your people were? The people that came before you. Maybe you need to do research. Maybe you need to say, who is this? You know? And I will
Self-reflection.
also say meditation is a beautiful way to start as well, because you get to learn how to control your thoughts. You get to pay attention to the thoughts that are deep within your subconscious, the things that come up that you don't like. You take them, you throw them away energetically, and then you just constantly work at that first, you know. And eventually, I feel like everybody do need a spiritual guide, a spiritual teacher, somebody, a mentor, somebody to like move through or walk through. But those things only come when you take those beginning steps. And it's nothing to light a white candle and write the names of the people that came before you on that candle, you know, and let that candle burn for 7 days. It's all about being intentional. We are spiritual beings having a worldly, earthly experience. So number one is good character. A lot of people don't want to hear that. They want to hear all the, you know, all the
Yeah.
shiny stuff that comes.
Yeah.
But the first is good character.
Yeah. Yeah. You can't
Yeah.
they say you can't turn a bad person good. You can't do that. You gotta come into it clean for sure.
No, yeah, 100%. They would my people would explain it like wearing a white shirt.
Yeah.
Just imagine like how you act when you're wearing a white shirt. Be careful, right?
Super careful.
Exactly. Like
Drinking no Kool-Aid.
one thing get on that shirt, the whole shirt considered dirty. It's not the one part of the shirt that got the stain on
Can't
it.
eat no flaming hots.
The
Don't you
whole
dare.
thing is dirty.
Don't you dare.
So that's it. I mean, you really gotta walk around with a love for yourself that is unmatched, and your ancestors will come to you. You take time to sit down, relax, and just be. Your spirit guides will come to you and tell you what to do. They come to you every day, but you really need to be in a space where you're able to receive what they've been trying to show you in your everyday, you know?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And you often bring up your spirituality in your music, is why I asked you that question. So I definitely want to get a kind of inside look at who your influence were musically growing up and to this day.
Yeah. I kind of always had a feeling that I was supposed to do something with words and writing since like
Mm,
third grade. Writing stories, all of those things was just really uh amazing to me. But my people always made that door open and available. Like, and I ain't talking about people that's alive. I'm talking about my ancestors. Like, the door has always been open of go in here, like see what's here. And I remember being in high school, walking past a door that was wide open and they was in there writing, and something just told me just walk in there, you know. And from that point on, and starting with poetry, um, that's when I knew for a fact, like, yeah, I really want to do this. I really like how it makes me feel powerful, and I could get my feelings off. I could get my thoughts off. My first inspiration to music, um, all period, is the music that was around me growing up, like from my dad and my mom. Like, I really enjoy oldies even now. Like, I really
likewise.
enjoy because the ancestors are literally in that music, and that's why I
For
use a
sure.
lot of samples in my music, because it draws your attention back to the source. um and you know, everybody feels a certain way about sampling or whatever, but if you can't use what has been here before to create something new, then it's like, you know,
Yeah.
what are you doing? So it sampling is really like, it's major for me in my music, because it really draws out the truth from within. But my first musical influence, like music wise, like as in an artist, was Common.
Mm,
I loved Common so much. I loved
yeah.
how his music made me feel. And it was a point in time where I was rapping about bullshit. Like, I wasn't even rapping about nothing for real. And something just kind of hit me like, why don't you try to talk about what's going on with you for real? Like, who are you really? And from the moment of me doing that, I just I just became Freddie Old Soul.
Yeah, people diss Common a lot nowadays. It's kind of cool to diss Common because he kind of corny now. But like it was an era when like Common was
It was
like,
an era.
you know what
Like
I'm
you
saying,
really
like
can't take
Common was
away.
ill.
You can't take away who Common was.
B is my favorite album ever made.
Come on
That's my
with it.
favorite album ever.
You know, it's so many songs that's like, yeah, like the
Yeah,
people, just so much. Like
yeah, for
I
sure,
could
for
go
sure,
on
for
and
sure.
on, but
And
it
we
was
and
that, and then of course Kanye West.
absolutely,
Of course
absolutely.
Kanye West.
Old Kanye, yeah, old Kanye, for sure. It's
He's
definitely
still amazing to me, but
he's definitely still amazing. He's
he's
still
kind
a
of crazy now.
genius. He just he got his chords cut a little bit. I don't know what's going on, you know. But
Right.
also I want to know like outside of the amazing talents that in Chicago and in your circle, I'm kind of curious if you listen to music today outside of the oldies like current music, what are you tuning into right now?
Right now, what am I listening to right now? I've been listening to a lot. I listen to a lot of knowledge beats. I know that sounds crazy, but
I'm
it's
doing the
like
same thing. I'm
I
doing the
listen
same
to a
thing.
lot of knowledge. I also listen to this R&B funk soul musician. Her name is Liv.
Okay.
She's from Texas, but she is really really amazing. I really enjoy her music right now. I'm listening to Rico Nasty a lot right now because I really like how badass she makes me feel and unapologetic.
That's real.
And then I just caught myself randomly listening to I don't know why I started listening to this again, but Travis Scott first album.
Low key, it's a banger. I guess
I don't
that's
know
a
why
nice
I
throwback.
started listening to that again.
That's a nice throwback.
I know, like, I think I'm in a space where I want to rage a little bit. Like, I kind of want to just like rock out a little bit.
I feel
So
you.
I've been
It's,
taking it there.
it's probably because you've been trapped in the house for the last year. Like I think everyone's starting to get a little Nancy now. Like, all right, when's summer coming? Like when summer
I
hits,
know, like, am I
it's
gonna be
gonna be
able to be
cracking.
outside this summer? Like, what's up?
Like if summer's open this year, it's gonna be crazy in the city.
I
Um,
know, right?
and recently, just to kind of get close this out, kind of here, I've been seeing you post about more entrepreneurship, going on in your life. To talk about that, what businesses you have going on right now?
Oh yeah, so I did start a herbal business because outside of music, my second love is herbal medicine. I always knew that I was supposed to be a healer for women, and I use it through my rhymes. But I just recently channeled that same energy through herbal work. And I do have a business called Soul Glow, soulglowwellness.com. You can get all your healing, all your spiritual gadgets from there. If you're ashy, come get some butters because we got
Absolutely.
butters, you know.
And absolutely, and of course, like got to talk about the raps. You got like I said, you dropped two last year. What you got coming up for 2021? Or you gonna wait till 2022? You gonna just what you got coming in rap wise?
Um, I got a major album in the works with my DJ Stepchild.
Okay.
A lot of people see us rocking out on stage. He's my main person when I perform. Whenever you see me perform and you see Stepchild. But we're working on an album right now that's going to break the internet. It's gonna break damn near. It's definitely gonna penetrate out of Chicago. It got to.
I love to hear that.
So right now, all my energy is going inside of that. You know, when you see J. Cole and he got a whole beard and he looking raggedy as hell, like that's me right now on some album mode shit.
All right.
But I'm still beautiful. Like
talk about it. Talk about it. Talk about it.
So that's what I'm working on. I don't know when it's gonna be released, but when it does get released, it will be heavily calculated. It'll be all the visuals, all the content that could possibly come with it. And it'll be my first album where all the beats, 100% are original. Like every single production is from this one person. So
Okay.
I'm excited about it. It'll be my first meet. I've been dropping EPs, but this will be considered my first real album. So
That's dope. Definitely looking forward to that. And you said that's produced all by Stepchild?
oh yeah, it's all Stepchild. It's just me and
That's
Step.
dope. That's dope. That's dope, man. And tell people where they can find you, where they can get in tune to more dopeness from Freddie Old Soul.
Yes, you can find me everywhere at Freddie Farted. That's Freddie with an IE at the end. People ask me what's up with that name. Don't worry about it. Just follow me. You know, Freddie Farted.
I was gonna ask. I was like, yeah, I think it'll get to there organically, and you answered yourself. That's perfect. I was gonna ask.
Nah, yeah. It'll always be Freddie Farted. I'm outrageous.
Keep it thorough. Keep it thorough.
Yeah, I'm outrageous like that. It'll always be something that'll be like, what? You know, for me, I'm an Aquarius, so you know.
So happy belated birthday. Happy belated birthday then.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, for sure. I'm not sure when it was, but I assume it had to be recent. You know what I'm saying, because the Aquarius.
January 30th.
Talk your shit. Talk your shit.
For sure.
Appreciate you being on, Freddie. It's been a real pleasure having you. Dope conversation for sure. I appreciate it.
I had a great time talking to you.
Thank you very much. Have a great rest of your day and stay blessed.